In 1988, two little-known comedians named Jerry Seinfeld and Larry David met with NBC executives to pitch their idea for a pilot. It would be a sitcom about nothing.
Who's on the show?
It's damn good. Seinfeld has gone on to become one of the most successful series in television history. After 7 seasons, David left the show in 1996. But last December, when Seinfeld announced his decision to retire, he, Jerry Seinfeld, asked David to return to write the final episode. It will appear on May 14th before an expected audience of some 75 million plus people. Since leaving the show, he's turned his focus to the movies. This Friday marks his debut as a screenwriter and director with the film Sour Grapes. I am very pleased to have him join us right here on this screen, Mr. Larry David.
Yeah,
Welcome.
but you referred to me as David. You were calling me David. And it frightened me when you said that.
Because?
You called me by my
I should have
last
said-
name,
I should-
David.
yeah,
you know,
I know. I should have said
David.
Larry David.
You
or I
could
should
have called me
said
Larry. Yeah,
Larry.
Since then, Larry's gone on. Larry did this.
How do you feel about being here?
I'm not happy.
You're not?
No.
Why not?
Well, you know, why? Why talk to me? You're not going to get anything out of this.
Oh, come on.
No, I'm not going to enrich your life or anybody else's, believe me.
We have our means, and we have our ways.
You're going to wonder, how does this person get through life? I don't get it. Yeah.
All right, tell me about the pressure for May 14th.
Well, the pressure was before the show was actually written.
Right.
Then there was some pressure. But once the show was written, then there's really no pressure.
Okay, David.
Writing is the pressure.
All right, but take me back to the time that you first realized that Jerry.
We're going back.
We're going back.
I see. We're going back in time.
I'm going to try to make this work. All right.
All right.
You get a phone call from Jerry Seinfeld saying what?
It's not a phone call.
What is it?
We're going back to when we first started. Is that it?
No. I tell you what. Here's where I want to start.
Yeah.
When did you find out that this was the last season for Jerry Seinfeld?
When everybody else found out. I read it in the newspaper.
I can't believe that. Co-creator of the series finds out in the newspaper?
Those are the depths that I sunk to after I left the show.
Your good friend
yes,
tells you through the newspaper?
Through the newspaper, yes.
So what did you do, pick up the phone?
Not right away. I waited a day. Yeah.
Thinking maybe he'd call.
No, just giving him some time to talk to other people.
Maybe you could find out more about what he said to other people, what the story was.
Yeah, so, no, I waited a day and then I called.
And what was the conversation about?
Just about his decision to leave, why he did it. And
was this a soulful conversation, or was this matter of fact like you were talking to me?
Charlie, I'm never going to have another conversation in my life like this one, so...
You might as well let it all hang out.
Yeah. I don't think we have... No, it wasn't a soulful conversation.
Okay, what was it?
We're soulless men. We can't have soulful conversations.
That's true.
But it was a sort of a normal conversation.
Oh, you decided to quit. Why?
Yeah, you know what happened. I thought he was ready, because even back during the summer he had discussed the possibility that this was going to be it. So it wasn't a total shock.
Did he at that point ask you to write the final episode?
Yeah, we had yes, during that conversation this summer, he had mentioned the possibility of his leaving, and perhaps I would do that. So that was discussed, and then I said, well, we'll see what it looks like for me.
How'd you feel about coming back to do that?
I was very excited.
Excited?
Yes, excited to come back. I missed it.
You'd missed it all along since you left.
Yeah, I didn't really regret it, but I missed everybody. I missed the people. Believe it or not, I had friends there. I was well liked, you know.
I can imagine.
Yeah. So I thought, you know, that would be nice to go back and say goodbye and do that.
Well, let me go back a little bit further.
Take us back.
Let's go back to the
yeah.
creation of the show.
Okay.
How much was it like what we just saw? You're going to go in there and you're going to pitch them something about nothing. We
never actually used that expression, nothing. That only came up in that episode, and it really caught on.
It did.
No, we initially were pitching a show about how a comedian gets his material. So we would follow a comedian around in his daily life. We'd go from the grocery store to the dry cleaner, maybe he'd go on a date, he'd hang out with his friends, and then at the end of the show he would do a monologue, and incorporated into the monologue would be some of the things that we saw happen on the show. And that's ostensibly where the comedian got the material. And
That
that's
was the idea
that's
they
what was
bought.
pitched to NBC. Yeah.
And NBC believed in the show, so they said we're committing to 4 episodes.
Yes. Yeah. Right. 4 episodes.
Normally it's 13 or 8 or something.
Yes, at least. Yeah. So we didn't really think that they had too much confidence in the show.
Was it a hit? Did you feel good about it from the beginning?
I felt good just the fact that the 4 episodes were produced, because I had never produced 4 episodes before, and frankly, I didn't know that I was capable of doing that. So just the fact that we had 4 shows on the air made me very excited.
Well,
I didn't think about the future. I thought, phew, I got by. I did the 4. Okay, let's go back to New York. Let's get on with our lives.
This is the reason I like you so much. Now, the story goes that you said, when they wanted more, you said, more, I can't do more. I've given you everything I have in these 4 episodes.
Well, you know, I didn't say it out loud, but I said it to my close personal friends.
Like Jerry.
Like Jerry, yeah. Yeah, you know, I said, look, I gave you the 4 things that happened to me in my life. What else could I possibly do? So then I had to actually come up with ideas like a regular writer. And that was, yeah, then we were doing 13 episodes. I had to do 13 episodes. I almost started crying from the fear.
The masturbation sequence, which we're going to see.
How dare you? Who do you think you're talking to? You know, my parents are probably going to be watching this.
I certainly hope so.
Yeah.
They probably are.
All right.
Did you create this? Was this your idea?
Yeah, yeah.
From where?
Well, it's actually based on, you know, all right, I might as well say it. It is based on something that happened to me, yes.
You got caught, did you?
No, I didn't get caught.
Yeah.
No, I was in a contest. I was, in fact, in a contest. Yes.
All right.
Emerged victorious, I'm proud to say. Yeah.
All right. This is a famous episode in which you won an Emmy. Thank you very much. Roll tape.
What's the matter?
You're a good audience.
I know. I loved it. This is a kind of George Michael thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose.
This is one of the most famous episodes Seinfeld ever did.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It got tremendous word of mouth, I guess, and I think it was one of the turning points in the history of the show. That and moving to Thursday night, that's what really got us over the top.
Why did you leave?
Well, Charlie,
Don't do this to me.
what happened
See, I knew
was,
you were going to do this.
You see, I was feeling that I needed to. No, you know, I had been there for 7 years, and that's a long time to suffer the way I do in my daily life. And 7 years is a long time for somebody to executive produce a show like that.
Did you burn out?
No, it wasn't burnout. I had plenty of ideas. It wasn't that. It was.
Oh, yeah?
Huh? I was learning how to do it.
Yeah.
It wasn't that. I just thought that I felt like I was ready to do. I felt I had done that, and now I wanted to try something else. And that's pretty much it.
Do you regret it? Leaving?
No, no. Which I know sounds strange because I'm the kind of person who's regretted most things in his life. I'll regret this interview, believe me.
I know. I can just see somebody's going to come up to you and say, I enjoyed you with Charlie Rose,
Right.
and you're going to say, oh, God.
Yeah, please don't bring that up. No, I don't. No, I don't regret it. I missed it. I missed everybody.
And you were a little sensitive to the fact that they went just fine without you.
You know, Jerry says it's like, you know, do you want your ex-girlfriend to be happy? You know, so I wanted her to be happy, but not too happy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you went off to do whatever you were going to do.
Right.
And the show went forward. This was the end of the 95th season, 1995 season?
No, end of 96.
96.
Yeah, March.
So,
The end of March 96. Yeah.
and it went on.
Yes.
Did you ever think about coming back?
The thought crossed my mind from time to time, but it was not really. I was kind of busy with doing what I was doing. So, and they had a whole new way of working and everything. It would have been awkward.
You and Jerry equal partners?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this is your baby. I mean, even if you weren't there, it's your baby.
Yes.
You created this
Yes.
baby.
Yes.
You're one half of the parentage of this baby.
Right. A very handsome baby at that.
So it comes to the final episode, and Jerry and you say, look, if we do this in final episode, we want you to What's the task? What's the challenge for a final episode?
The challenge is that, first of all, everybody has it in their head what they think this show should be. When people sit down to watch a regular episode on Thursday night, nobody's thinking of a plot in advance of what should happen. But on this particular show, everybody has their own scenario going. So you have to top their scenario. Not only do you have to top their scenario, you have to come up with something that really brings some closure to the entire series. So it was a daunting prospect.
It is said, now I know, and I'm not trying to play this game with you, try to find out and have you give me something that'll make news, make me look like a big deal, because you'll disclose something here that you haven't talked. I'm not trying to do that.
You are such a big deal, you don't have to look like a big deal.
I'm not trying to do that. You got it. It is said that there are 5 separate endings. True?
No. No.
Not true.
No,
that's news right there.
Yeah. No, there are 2 endings.
2.
Yeah.
And it is said that the final decision on how to make it end in the end won't be made until a week before the broadcast. Has it already been made? Is it in the can? Is there nothing else to do?
No, it's already been made.
It has.
Yeah. Yes, it has.
Do you feel good about it?
I feel very good about it, and it's nice to feel good about something.
All right,
now I see how other people feel during the day.
They feel good?
I take that feeling of feeling good about the final episode, and when I talk to people and I see them feeling good, I can compare my feeling with theirs, whereas ordinarily I can't do that. I just look at them and go, why are they feeling good?
So all this story about you suffering
yes.
is true?
Oh, yes. Yes, it is. Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. That's how I was born.
It goes that far back, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Suffering always. Never believing it could be this good. Never believing you could keep it. Never believing that it was going to happen to you.
Yeah, I suppose that's true in some way. Do you have a tissue?
Does that, and if this is my serious question, you think that's what made you very good as a comedy writer?
I guess it's that, and growing up in Brooklyn, there's something about...
Sheepshead Bay or something?
Yeah, Sheepshead Bay. Something about Brooklyn, I think that breeds comedy.
Do people who do comedy well, as far as you're concerned, have something in common? Do they see life through a certain prism, all of them? Do they have a sort of special observant quality and a special mimic quality?
I think so. Yeah, I think we generally feel a little outside the mainstream. We're generally more observing than participating, usually self-consciously about things, self-conscious about things.
You don't want me to talk about this, but I am. You've made over $100 million.
Now, why do you do that?
Because
why are you compelled to? What compels you to say something like that?
Because I read about it.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
But has it made any difference? Any difference?
Well,
in terms of what we're talking about, insecurity, struggle, the absence of having fun as much as you ought to.
You know, I said in one article that the one difference that it's made is that you can't really complain anymore to people about various things, although it hasn't really stopped me
No, it certainly
tonight. No. But that aside, you know, you can't really complain about the little things that are bothering you because nobody really wants to listen to you. They don't want to hear it.
Just take your $100 million and go away.
Get the hell away from me. The other thing is that... you know, even though I used to worry about money a lot, because I didn't really have a lot, I used to be, you know, I'd go down to the grocery store at 3 o'clock in the morning with a jar of Tropicana, a bottle of Tropicana with pennies filled, and get a can of ravioli. So I didn't really have much money at all for a long time. And then, now that I have it, it just, all that compartment that I had where I worried about money, the money's gone now. That compartment in the brain isn't worried about money, but something else jumped in so fast to take its place.
What was that?
A whole assortment of things that the worrying is still there. There's still concern in this compartment of the brain, but it's no longer about money. It's about something else.
So there was a void, and something rushed in to fill that void.
Something rushed in to fill the void, exactly. So the void has been filled up.
Yeah, so you got something else to worry about.
There you go.
You know, whether you're going to live a long life or whatever it might be. Things
Right.
you never worried about before. Now, because there's space to worry about something else, you got new concerns.
The space has been filled up. There's no room left, believe me.
I got it.
Yeah.
I got it. The last episode, you want to tie the ends together, right? Or you have tied the ends together. You have dotted the I's and crossed the T's, and you have given it a finality.
I've tried to, yeah.
Compare it to all the other Seinfelds.
Well, it has the magnitude and the scope of a final episode. It's not a typical episode. It's a finale.
What steps did you go to make sure? Because no one is, so far, it hasn't leaked out what it's about, anything. What did you have to do to make sure you had that confidentiality?
You know, everybody who came to see the show had to sign a letter.
Saying that we'll cut off your...
Right, right. Everybody who worked on the show signed something. Jerry talked to everyone. I reiterated what he said to the audience, and people just are really respecting it, and I'm so happy about it, because I really think people will enjoy the show so much more if they really don't know what it's about. You'll still enjoy it if you knew the story, but it's just better to come at it fresh.
I agree. Tell me about Jerry and the Jerry that you know and what it is.
There's more. I thought this thing. I really thought you were wrapping up. I was going, hey, that's not
I've
bad.
done so far.
Yeah.
So far.
Yeah.
No, tell me about him. I mean, you know this guy as well as anybody. You worked with him. You created with him. As you say, you were on the same wavelength.
Yeah. Did you watch the show, Seinfeld?
Yes, I do.
There you go.
That's it? That's all I need to know?
That's all you need to know. You watch the show Seinfeld?
Yes.
Did you watch George?
Yes.
There you go. That's all you need to know about me.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So you're like a painter who says, Picasso used to say, look, everything you need to know about me is right here in this painting. Every music, I've had composers come here and say, everything you need to know about me is in that music.
I'm very much like Picasso in many ways. My proclivity for sex, certainly. My output. We have a lot in common, me and Picky Picasso.
You and Pablo.
Yeah, me and Pablo, yeah. No, Jerry's he's a tremendous guy. I'll give you the.
He's a tremendous guy. This question, what's Jerry like? He's a tremendous guy.
I'll give you the quintessential Seinfeld story. Okay.
There we're going somewhere.
Yeah, when it was about our third or fourth season on the show, I was in a room talking to a few of the writers, and I looked at one of the writers' shirts, and there was just something a little off about the shirt. It was sort of it was in a bit of a diagonal going down. And I said, has Jerry seen that shirt, you know? and he said, no. And I said, I'll bet you he comments on that shirt within 10 seconds after he sees you, you know? And he said, you got to bet. We bet $10. It may have even been $20. I said, okay, all right. And I'm just about to leave the room, and here he comes. He comes walking in, and I hang out at the doorway, and he didn't even make eye contact with the guy. And he's talking to somebody else, and all of a sudden he turns, and he says something to him, and he goes, what's the story with that shirt?
You know you're a guy.
Yeah.
And you think alike. And he knows the same thing about you.
Yeah.
Have you two ever talked about this notion of, it is said that for Jerry, the show was fun. Mm-hmm. For you, doing the show was suffering.
You know, I also had a lot of fun too. The most fun I had was actually the actual writing of it, the writing that we did together. Those were great times.
Walk me through a process of creating a Seinfeld.
Well, they were all different. You mean the writing of it?
Sure. I mean, day one, what happens to create a Seinfeld? We're not talking about a classic.
You're talking about one that I would write, or one that somebody from the staff would write. You know, because it's
Why do you need these definitions?
Well, because it's a different process,
Just
Charlie.
Take
it's
whatever one you care about. One you wrote.
Okay. Well, I would. You know, I would probably get an idea for a show, and I would.
Well, take an example. Like what?
Oh, gee.
Is this hard?
Huh?
Is this hard?
Yeah, it's kind of complicated. It is hard.
Well, give me a small idea that became a good idea.
Okay, well, let's see. I'm in the office, and somebody takes out this little space pen.
Right.
And I go, hey, that's an interesting pen you got there. Let me see that. And he goes, here. This is Jerry's manager. Right. He goes, here, and I take the pen, and he says to me, it writes upside down. And I start writing upside down. I say, hey, that's terrific, because, you know, a lot of times I like to write in bed, and you can't, and the pen skips. Right. And he goes, take the pen. I go, I don't want to take your pen. And he goes, come on, take it. I go, no, you know. He says, take the pen. I go, all right. Then I take the pen, and then I start to feel guilty that I took the guy's pen. And I approach him later on, take the pen back. He says, no, keep the pen. I got plenty of them. So I'm thinking, then, I don't know, some point down the line, I'll go, you know, that's a funny thing, taking a pen from somebody like that. Right. And then, you know, I would tell Jerry, what do you think of this pen idea? And he would go, yeah, I like that, I don't like it, whatever. In this particular case, he likes it, and I'll go off and I'll write it.
And you write it by yourself? I'll
write it by myself, but we always go over everything together. Right. Every script, we go over together, every line, and you know, he's got his say, and he adds a lot to everything. My reputation as a writer has been greatly enhanced by having him working on my material.
Edit and make contributions and suggestions and all of that.
No question about it.
The final episode, you went away and wrote it.
Yeah.
Alone.
Yeah, well, I had the time. I mean, he was really busy with the show. Yeah. So I think he was somewhat relieved that I had the time to do that because they were swamped with work. Yeah, so, and an episode like this, you know, you needed some time to write. I think it would have been a bad situation if I had gone into if I had finished writing episode 21 and all of a sudden here was the finale upon us with 5 days to write, it would have been impossible. So fortunately, I could take my time and do it.
And you had finished Sour Grapes.
Yes.
Let's talk about that since it's a movie that's about to be released. And critics have said the following things about it. Surprisingly good, first-time directing.
Surprisingly good yeah.
Well, surprisingly good for a first director.
Right.
Some have said you can tell that this is someone who came out of sitcoms. There is a connection there. You can see a direct connection.
I think they said the connection was from Seinfeld, not from sitcoms.
Okay, from Seinfeld.
Yeah.
I stand corrected.
Well, this must happen a lot to you.
Yes,
so,
all the time. It's not easy either.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You know, if you have an image of yourself and then people are constantly correcting you.
Yeah.
You know.
I've tried to hold back in this interview. I could have corrected you more times than I did.
I made many more mistakes, have I?
Oh, God.
All right, so Sour Grapes, the idea is what?
It's two cousins who go to Atlantic City, and one wins a jackpot using 2 quarters that the other one gave him, and he refuses to split the money with him. And that's basically...
Sounds like a Seinfeld episode to me.
Yeah, basically, well, perhaps a Seinfeld cable episode, because there are things in the movie I couldn't have done.
How was it to write for 92 minutes rather than 26?
Much harder. Much harder.
Harder?
Oh, yes. First of all, yeah, all new characters, and you had to keep the balls in the air for 90 minutes. Much harder.
All right, roll tape. Here's an episode here's a clip from Sour Grapes.
Or run back to TV?
No, or do something else. I mean,
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I actually, and I know people are shocked to hear me say this.
Enjoyed it?
I enjoyed it.
Oh no!
Yes.
Oh no!
Yes,
There's
I did.
something wrong here.
Yeah, no, I know. I really did enjoy it.
Yeah, and so you already have another idea? You're thinking about another?
Yeah, no, I'm in the middle of another one.
What's this one about? You can't tell me.
Yeah, it's
comedy.
It's a comedy. Yeah. It's about a guy with a talk show
who was always being corrected by his guests.
Yes.
You look back on the Seinfeld years, and what do you think about most?
What do I think about? See, I think now you got me. I was doing well until this moment. I really was. I think I'll actually think about the writing, writing the shows, working with Jerry, the writing process, how much fun we had doing that, the collaboration. I think that's what stands out in my mind the most.
Congratulations. It's a classic. You know, you created something that touched a lot of people. Congratulations.
Thank you, Charlie.
Larry David, good luck with Sour Grapes as well.
Thanks very much.
We'll be right back with somebody I know you want to see, Yogi Berra. You're a Yankee fan?
Yogi's here?
Yogi's here.
No kidding.
No kidding.
I can't believe it.
Larry David and Yogi Berra on one show. What do you think of that?
I'm thrilled.
We'll be right back with Yogi Berra. Stay with us.